and welcome to today's radio broadcasting of Penn State men's gymnastics as the Nittany Lions will be taking on the Mighty Illini of Illinois. I'm Braun Leiber, joined alongside Matt Solom as we start here on the floor. Matt, what for today's matchup?
The Nittany Lions have team captain Matt Cormier out after an injury last week at Michigan, so we're going to be looking for Josh Carnes, one of the star athletes for Penn State, and the other team captain, Ian Raubel, to lead the team to victory today against this great Illinois squad.
With that, we will get started here on floor with Matt Artlip.
Michael Artlip, big stick on that double-double opening pass. Looking for the first athlete for the Nittany Lions. Another stick. He's saving lots of points for the team with these sticks. Every time you hop your feet on a landing, you lose 1 or 3 tenths. Just like that, you'll probably lose a tenth for that. But every time you stick, you don't lose those points. Nice flare there on the butterfly twist.
How does kicking off a match like this really set the tone for both teams?
It's going to be a battle of energies. Penn State's here at home. They got the home crowd. They're going to be feeling super comfortable, and they're going to have to take on this Illinois squad who's built up quite a bit of momentum from the end of last season and moving through this season. And a small hop on the dismount for Michael Artlip, but that's a great opener for the Nittany Lions.
Lots of noise to start off today's competition from both sides. Great standpoint and appearance from Illini fans here as they get started for their first appearance on floor from Evan Madivong.
Big amplitude on that front 2.5 there for Evan Manavong to start out. Michael Artlip's score coming in at a 13.65. You'll see a lot of these athletes do 2 skills connected in a row like that. It's to get extra bonus points for combinations. Evan, a gymnast with a lot of flair, especially here on floor.
His floor high is 13.65, which is exactly what we just saw by Artlip on the previous flooring for the Penn State Nittany Lions.
Good stick for Manavong. Yeah, I think he's got potential to match Michael Artlip's score. He's got to put down the dismount, and he sticks it. That's going to be a bonus 10th for not moving his feet on the dismount. And I think that might beat Michael Artlip.
Lots of celebration from the Fighting Illini there to get them kicked off here. Matchup in Rec Hall.
You just saw on the screen Manavong's career high, 14.3. This was a great set to try to contest that score and maybe post a new career high for himself. Now Kasper Goncharek, the sophomore from Poland. He does a lot of twisting elements here on floor. Gonna be spinning around really fast. There's the first one, the front 2.5. I believe next he's gonna do a backwards 3.5 twist. Very difficult. Just a small hop out. And it's looking good so far for Kasper. I'd love to see him keep his feet planted more on these passes. Hasn't stuck anything so far.
Certainly brings a huge point difference.
There's a stick. Yeah, these athletes do 5 or 6 tumbling passes, and if you give up 1 or 3 tenths across 5 routines for each team, it certainly adds up.
Especially when you're having a number 4 and a number 6 ranked matchup, every little decimal is going to end up mattering.
Absolutely. That pass right there, back double full, pretty easy. He should be sticking that. Really good with this triple full dismount though. And he gets that one. That's gonna be another big score.
With that, he ends on a clean ending, and we see Manavong's score come in at a 13-8, which will beat the previous one set by Penn State's Michael Artlett.
Illinois taking the lead here after just the first two routines, but Penn State's got a lot of fight in them on this floor exercise. Sebastian Ingersoll now for the Illini.
Huge stick there.
Yeah, very high flying gymnastics from Ingersoll. A little stumble out of that. Would have liked to see that be a little bit cleaner for Sebastian here as he gets into his non-acrobatic element. All these gymnasts required to do some skill that isn't acrobatic in nature. Good stick for Ingersoll as he gets ready for the dismount here to finish up this second routine for Illinois. Oh, just kidding. One more. Oh, I was right.
He will end with that.
Bit of a basic dismount. Normally we see these guys doing 2.5 triple fulls, a back layout dismount.
But if he's sticking it, that'll...
Not very difficult, but yeah, this Illinois squad, they don't do the hardest gymnastics, but they put up clean, consistent routines. And, you know, I'm sure head coach Dan Ribeiro has a strategy for this. Casper Goncharek's score coming in at a 13.15 for the Nittany Lions as Okseli Karsikis gets ready to go here on floor. Double front down the side. Pretty hard to generate enough power to do that double front in that short run. Most of the time you'll see the athletes do it here in the diagonal where they have more space. Looks like he messed up his punch a little bit, but saved himself from having a complete fall. Not gonna lose the full point for sitting that down. It looks like that little stumble didn't affect him too much. He's putting together a good routine so far after that one mistake.
Here in Rec Hall is also Senior Day, in which the Nittany Lions will honor two of their teammates and members later in this evening. But for the current moment, we are starting here off on floor for those of you who are just now joining us.
Okseli getting ready for the dismount. And he sticks it. Gets that 10th back, and he really held that set together after the early mistake. Missed his block on his combination pass. Almost fell out of it, but he saved it. Definitely going to lose some points, but not detrimental as it could have been.
Following that, we see Ingersoll's score come in at 13.2 for the Fighting Illini.
And so far, it's a close matchup here on floor. Only 0.2 difference between the two teams so far.
Like anything, though, floor is just the first event of this matchup, so lots to come.
Mike Fletcher now, the grad student, on floor for the Illini. Big double-double stick from Fletcher. Fletcher, a veteran in the NCAA gymnastics world. He's quite the leader for this Illini squad. Got a lot of experience, and I think with that role comes going out and doing your best and carrying the energy for the rest of your guys.
Bringing that energy, you also get that energy put behind you, as you can hear his teammates absolutely trying to hype him up with every chance they get. Bringing a lot of energy into this gym today.
Absolutely, we got Illini fans standing up screaming before the dismount here, and a big stick from Mike Fletcher.
Shirts are being waved around and thrown in the air with that, as well as pom-poms. Lots of excitement to start off this top-tier matchup.
Hyped up. Penn State's going to have to match this energy.
We'll now see Asparo take the floor.
Oxeli Karsika's score coming in, 13.1. Asparo, very explosive freshman. It looks like his feet slipped there on his first pass, falls on the double front. He's gonna have to push that out of his memory and just do what he knows how to do, what he's been training for. Great double-double there. Undercooked it a little bit, has to take the hop forward. Good stick on the combination there by Luke Asparo. And now he'll get ready to do his non-acrobatic element, a Japanese press. Here the judges are looking that your forehead is only about like both of your hands placed flat down on top of each other. It's not very much. Luke probably gonna lose a little bit in deductions for not being quite as low as the judges are looking for him to be. But he's just cruising through this routine so far since that fall on his opening pass.
Gymnastics certainly being one of those sports where you need to complete and then forget, move on whether it was successful or not in order to stay in the right mindset to compete these moves.
That's a good stick and a good finish for Luke Asparo, but Bronwyn, you're absolutely right. It's all about short-term memory. Whether you fall or you do the best routine of your life, you want to keep your nerves at a very normal level. You don't want to get too hyped up or too down in the dumps, or it can affect your performance later on.
Fletcher bringing in a loud 14.3 performance on floor for the Illini.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Tate Costa now for the Illini. Puts his hands down on that full in. That's going to be a full point deduction. Now both of these two squads battling here today are going to have to kind of pick up the energy and make sure these falls don't take anything away from the athletes that are still to come, because there's a lot of gymnastics to go.
Certainly.
Little hop on that back layout there. Not ideal. Tate Costa moving through this routine. Getting ready for the dismount here. Oh. Clearly I don't know these guys' routines.
Looking to do one more across the mat.
Fights very hard for that stick. Takes a little hop, but the judges are going to take extra deductions for those arm swings, so I like to see the fight, but unfortunate that he couldn't get that. Luke Asparo, the last Penn State athlete to compete, 12.95. His score just posted as Josh Carnes gets ready here. The junior from Erie, Pennsylvania, and a national team member for the United States of America.
Has a floor high of 14.5, so it'll be interesting to see in this time of need what he can perform for the Nittany Lions on the floor today.
And Carnes is off to a good start. Clean first pass and a stick. And another stick. And Josh's flares here, they're just incredible. It's mesmerizing to watch.
Certainly.
And he's so consistent with those every single time.
Starting to hear some of that Nittany Lion cheers pick up here in Rec Hall today.
Yeah, they're trying to match Illinois. Illinois had some great performances so far. Josh Carnes, just a tiny hop on the landing. That's a great set for the Nittany Lions.
Exactly what they're needing as they trail by just under a point here today.
Carnes, a great athlete to get the energy turned up in here. He's a fan favorite, a team favorite. He's kind of like everyone's little brother. Now Connor McCool here on floor. Connor McCool, great at sticking landings. Has excellent air awareness. There's one stick right off the bat. 2.5 twisting double backflip. First time we've seen that today. Quite a unique skill in the NCAA. And a triple connection, a second stick.
Connor McCool known nationally for his floor routines and bringing that reputation and presence here inside.
Small hop on that combination. Nothing to be concerned about, though. And there's that butterfly twist we saw from Michael Artlip as well.
Karn School has been posted as a 13.9 for the Nittany Lions.
And that's going to help the Nittany Lions stay in this floor rotation and in this meet as a whole after a couple lower scores coming in. Nice 3.5 there by Connor McCool as he gets ready for his dismount. And the triple full stick, the judges gave it to him, put up the green flag, and that's got this Illini squad hyped up. That's going to be a big number for Illinois.
Both teams await their final scorings from the floor performance.
Penn State head coach Randy Jepson looks like he has an inquiry with the judging panel. If his inquiry is successful, we're likely to see the Nittany Lions score go up slightly. Could be due to a misinput. They didn't give an athlete stick bonus where they should have, or they got the start value wrong. But we'll see both teams start getting ready for Pommel horse as Coach Jepson does that.
Conversation is still continuing there. This is certain to be, despite not just on one event, but all around, an incredible matchup between these two schools here. Matt, I mean, we talk about last season when they met here in Rec Hall once more for the Big Ten Championship, and Illinois took home, like, they defeated the Nittany Lions. What is something the Nittany Lions need to do today in order to potentially upset here at home?
Yeah, they're going to be looking for just minimizing falls. That's really what a lot of gymnastics comes down to. I said that the University of Illinois, they don't do the hardest gymnastics. You know, we saw a back layout dismount for them on floor, which is pretty unusual, but as long as they're getting good sets, they're hitting, they're sticking, which is what Illinois is great at. They're a very consistent team at just doing fundamentally good gymnastics. It's going to be tough to beat them, so the Nittany Lions are going to have to execute quite well and, you know, do what they can to the best of their ability, even with their scattered injuries here and there.
Penn State fell last weekend to number 5 Michigan and then returned home obviously today. But when they were competing against the Wolverines, they posted their highest overall scores of this season with team highs on floor, rings, and vault. What kind of energy and mental mindset can that bring into today?
You know, up until the end of that Michigan meet when Matt Cormier took that violent fall on high bar, kind of brought the energy down, the Nittany Lions were battling hard with Michigan. They had great energy. They were getting lots of hits. You know, they were going blow for blow with one of the top programs in the country. And I think this team has realized that they're capable of great things regardless of how the season's gone so far. So they're going to be looking to channel that same energy and just, you know, act on what they know is possible to defeat this Illini squad.
A chant has been started between the University of Illinois and their fans here in Rec Hall. Lots of noise being brought by the Illinois faithful here today.
And it looked like Connor McCool there at the end went 13-9 on floor, bringing us to a one-event total for both teams. Illinois 67.9 and Penn State at a 66.95, so just 9.5 tenths in it.
exactly what we expected coming in today's matchup between two top 10 ranked national teams. And I think we can expect that to continue throughout all of these events. And as you said, it will really come down to those small 10th point deductions.
Yeah, those little tenths are so important. That's why we saw head coach Randy Jepson over there talking to the judges. Looks like Casper Goncharik's score went up. Now a 13.25. And those little tenths, tenth and a half here and there, they really add up across 30 routines on it throughout the competition.
Judges are getting situated around for the Pommel horse here to start momentarily.
Yeah, Sebastian Ingersoll been out there standing around for quite a while now, waiting for the panel to get set up so he can start.
Has a season high of 14.3 and a career high of 14.3, so looking to repeat that and maybe even beat that here today as he prepares for his attempt on the Pommel horse.
You know, this event's pretty interesting. If you're too tight, you're too tense, it'll mess up the flow of your circle. You know, a lot of these athletes go just based off of muscle memory. You don't really try to do too much extra. You don't want to do things better than you normally do them because that creates extra risk. So as long as he can stay relaxed and stay comfortable, I think it'll be no problem for Ingersoll to get up and, you know, tie or even overcome his career high.
We'll see as he gets started here.
Great scissor to start. That skill called a bazoogo, very difficult. The reverse called a sewn right there. Been gaining a lot of popularity in the gymnastics world pretty recently. Some great travel work by Ingersoll. He looks very comfortable right now, and he gets the dismount off. That's a good opening set for Illinois.
A little bit of a celebration there. He feels confident with that performance walking off.
You can't
Lots of
blame
high
him.
fives.
That was a great set. You know, a couple form breaks here and there, but overall he stayed on the pommel horse, and that's all you can really ask. Cotter McCool's score getting adjusted to a 14.3.
Michael Artlip set to follow for Penn State.
And now leading off for Penn State, please welcome Michael Artlip.
Yeah, Michael Artlip, one of the athletes. He's not a pommel horse specialist. He doesn't do a whole lot of difficulty here, but he's clean. He does really good gymnastics. He keeps a consistent circle position, which is something that these judges are really looking for. Any little break in your body that isn't there from the start, they can take for. Great scissors here to start. There's that sewn we saw from Ingersoll. Michael Artlip matching. Into the Roth, that skill is called. And here he goes for the dismount. Up with no problems. And he gets the upgrade, and he's hyped up.
Both schools with very strong starts here on the pommel horse today. Really making this set to be a close and intensive matchup.
See there, Artlip's season high 13.6 and a career high of 13.9. I think that set's going to come close to at least his season high.
Next for the Illini, Michael Fletcher.
Those extra spins on top might not have looked like too much, but that upgraded the dismount. So Michael Artlip's routine going to start a little bit higher than normal.
Inger's score came in for the Illini at 13.9 to start off pommel horse.
That's a good score for Sebastian Ingersoll. Mike Fletcher now, effortless in his travels. And a good dismount from him as well. These Illini going blow for blow with Penn State right now.
The score for Michael Artlip, 13.35.
Michael Artlip will trail Sebastian with a 13.35. What were some of the differences in their performances that led to such a point differential?
Part of it is the difficulty. Michael Artlip's routine isn't as hard as Sebastian Ingersoll's, so it starts quite a bit lower. Other than that, you know, Michael Artlip had a great execution score. So he did that just about as well as he could do.
Next for the Nittany Lions, Ethan Dick.
8.65 execution out of a 10, meaning he only got 1.35 off on that routine. Just very good in the NCAA world.
Ethan Dick is now on the pommel horse for Penn State.
I believe Ethan got the week off last week against Michigan, able to rest a little bit. So we're looking for some fresh arms here on pommel horse for the Nittany Lions. And pommel horse, one of Ethan's best events. Very laid back when I talked to him about it. You saw his legs hit the horse there. That's going to be a big deduction. But he saves it and gets that dismount up. And that's very important. When something goes wrong, you hit your legs like that, to just keep going and not think about it too much, like we said before.
Exactly. Michael Fletcher saw a 13.65 for his pommel horse performance.
Next for the Illini, Maxi Farhadu.
Max Farhadu now for Illinois. Career high 14.6. An excellent pommel horse worker. And you can just see the phenomenal extension and tightness of his body. His legs and hips so high above those pommels. Very smooth swing. Some unique skills there. Oh, and his hand slipped off the side. Unfortunate here for Max. Now gets 30 seconds to regroup and rest before he gets back up.
Taking those seconds to truly reset before immediately hopping back on.
Yeah, these routines take a lot of energy, and you're very tired when you come off, so taking that full 30 seconds is important to get yourself settled back in physically and mentally, knowing you have to get back up and finish the set for your brothers, for your team. And a bit of a struggle there, but he gets the dismount down without much issue.
Score for Ethan Dick, 13.35.
Ethan Dick's score coming in, 13.35. Same as Michael Artlip.
I was about to say, yeah, copying his current teammates' performance.
Next for the Nittany Lions, Landon Simpson.
There's that dismount again by Max Farhadu. This freshman Landon Simpson gets ready for the Nittany Lions. Landon does those flares like we saw from Carnes on floor. Almost his whole routine is done in this flare position.
Absolutely memorizing to watch. You can hear his teammates really picking up the noise and the energy in attempts to cheer him on through this difficult performance.
Looks like he couldn't quite keep the speed and amplitude up and hit his leg coming down. Not ideal for the Nittany Lions as they try to crawl out of this hole they've created for themselves against the Fighting Illini.
Taking those seconds to re-chalk and prepare as he gets back on.
Here's some of the guys from the Nittany Lions bench yelling every 10th, letting him know, don't give up anything that you don't have to give up. Landon looking energized after his 30-second break. He gets ready to finish his routine here. And he gets it up well. That's a strong finish after coming off halfway through the set.
The score for Maxim Farhadu, 12.2.
See
Max,
some. Go right ahead.
Max Vardu's score coming in, 12.2 after that fall for Illinois.
Some very strong placing Illini set to take the pommel horse shortly with both Hawk and Dang lined up, both nationally recognized for this event. Looking to see some great pommel horse performances here in routines.
Yeah, great McCulloch there by Will Hawk, that first skill. A scissor across the whole horse. Hawk also, great pommel horse worker, got a phenomenal swing. And excellent on that one pommel.
Landon Simpson received a 12.4 for his performance.
That's a great set from Will Hawk. That's going to be a big score. And like I said before, you know, the consistency, just staying on the horse, it's going to beat harder gymnastics that isn't done as clean. Not saying that that set isn't difficult. It's definitely
Anything
top
performed
tier.
here is
Oh, yeah.
lots of mental and physical toughness and drain.
Next for the Nittany Lions, Michael Giroux.
Giroux now set to take on for the Nittany Lions as he approaches the pommel horse. Smile on his face there as he takes a deep breath.
Gonna start with that same McCulloch. Almost goes up to the handstand there. Little stumble there at the start, but he's recovered well. Great zone. Going a little slow in those one pommels. You want to see these athletes keep the pace up, circle fast. Mike definitely a fast swinger in practice. Didn't look quite as comfortable as he normally does here today, but he got the dismount down, got the coaches smiling, had him a little bit nervous.
Hawk with a massive 14.1 here on the pommel horse. Best score we've seen so far today.
Yeah, and that was well deserved. You know, 8.9 execution, that's phenomenal. As a Nittany Lion, you can't be too upset about seeing scores like that. You just got to go out and do that yourself.
Giroux comes off with a massive smile, hugging his coach, getting high fives all around. But next up is Brandon Dang, who, like I said earlier, nationally recognized for his pommel horse performance. Really looking to make a dagger here for the Fighting Illini.
Yeah, he was a very sought-after recruit last year as he was finishing up high school. Excellent here on pommel horse. You know, you saw his season high as a freshman is a 15.2. Significantly higher than we've seen from anything, and this guy has not fallen on one set this season.
Just swings with complete ease, inches above.
So comfortable on that one pommel, on that one hand. Little leg split there, but he pulls it back together quickly. Not giving up too much. Great Russian work.
High speeds there, swinging around.
Dang, looking very comfortable as he finishes the set, and he's gonna keep his 100% hit record going.
It's the last official match of the season. Can't stop it there.
Absolutely not. That was a phenomenal set by Dang. And that is likely gonna be the top score we've seen so far today.
Giroux managed a 13.7 for the Nittany Lions. Their highest pommel horse performance today. But now we will see Josh Carnes take.
Josh Carnes been having a little bit trouble with his elbow, you know, struggling to support fully on his left arm. We'll see if it has any effect on his performance here today. Fell at Michigan last week, which is very uncharacteristic for Josh.
Needing that short-term mindset coming into today. Forget about Michigan and just know to do it for yourself, do it for your team, do it for your school.
Absolutely. You know, he knows he's needed in this matchup today to try to get a share of that Big Ten title. And he does very well to stay on the horse. That's a great set from Josh Carnes and a good good recovery and comeback after, you know, a suboptimal performance last week.
Brandon Dang did manage a 14.25, which is the highest score once more we've seen today, not only for the Illinois, but as a whole between both Illinois and Penn State.
Next for the Illini, Tate Costa.
Tate Costa now for the University of Illinois. Breaking into those flares we saw from Landon Simpson throughout his whole routine. And those flares with your hands on opposite sides of the pommels, so difficult. But Costa just making it look easy, floating through this pommel horse routine. And a little struggle there on the dismount, but he gets it around. Looked like he might have stepped his foot just a little bit. Don't see the steps out on dismounts too often on pommel horse.
Well, statistically speaking, Tate Costa's not as dominant on the pommel horse as some of his teammates, but he really pulls through in a lot of those other events that we will see take place. More so just there to add on to overall team points and maybe as a personal all-around score, but really more dominant on other events that we'll see later today.
Absolutely. He's a phenomenal athlete on high bar and vault, which we will see in the second half of this competition. Now looking at Brandon Campbell, the senior, doing an exhibition for senior night here at Rec Hall. It's a handshake from Randy before he starts. Senior from Goffstown, New Hampshire. And he doesn't get too many opportunities to compete. Hasn't competed here in Rec Hall for the team. This is going to be his first time in his home atmosphere. Brandon looking good so far. Nice woo there as he holds it together.
Really fighting to keep those legs pressed together.
And there's a good dismount from Brandon Campbell, the hit for his exhibition on senior night.
His teammates lined with smiles here, getting to watch him perform tonight in Rec Hall.
Yeah, that might not look like much, and it might not matter for the team scores here, but a hit like that and seeing Brandon come out and compete when you usually don't get to see it, it's gonna be a good source of energy for this team and keeping the spirits up, even in a deficit going into the third event.
We heard a "We Are Penn State" chant, and that was quickly followed by an Illinois chant. Lots of rivalry taking place tonight here in Rec Hall.
Yeah, I love seeing the crowd getting involved here in Rec Hall. You know, it's boring when the crowds just come in and sit there quietly.
Seems to be going back and forth. That's one of the greatest things about sports, though, is just how it brings, you might not agree on the same team, brings everyone together in a great atmosphere like today. And while at the end of the day there can only be one winner, both teams having tremendous performances here, really fighting for a potential Big Ten regular season title.
Absolutely. You know, the gymnastics community is pretty small, so a lot of these guys have known each other since they were kids. You know, their parents are friends, and that's good fun and all, but it is still a competition, and they are still trying to get this regular season title. So it's all fun and games until you're up on the equipment.
I believe the Nittany Lions trail by 3.2. As we move on to the rings here. Starting off, we have Matthew Underhill here for the Nittany Lions.
Matthew Underhill, the sophomore from Oconomowoc, Wisconsin, and a phenomenal rings gymnast. Very strong, gonna see a lot of impressive holds out of Underhill. Brandon Dang's score going up to a 14.75. Got 5/10 back. That's gonna widen the lead to 3.7 points. Matt Underhill getting ready on rings here. It's one of those incredibly difficult strength moves I talked about. The straight planche, lowering down straight into the Maltese. Right into a second Maltese, and this guy is just making it look effortless so far. Some good swinging work by the finance major. He does well to keep his arms straight and off the straps going to that press as he gets ready for his dismount. Couldn't quite keep it on his feet. That set was looking really good up until the dismount there.
How much of a deduction can they expect that to be?
1 point for every fall. You know, those little hops on dismounts, you want to see the stick to get your 10th bonus and eliminate that other 10th for hopping. But, you know, a full point, it's a big deduction. And that's going to hurt the Nittany Lions here.
Kyle Mayotte will now start off Illinois here at the rings.
Mayotte season high of 13.65. Iron cross there, the infamous skill. Falls straight into a back lever. Right into the Yamawaki and Janssen, those two skills are called. We're gonna see probably every athlete on rings here today do both of those. I'd like to see his arms straight and have his rings turned out. The judges can take deductions for the bent arms, his arms resting on the straps, and the rings being turned in. So he's losing a lot in these handstands. As he gets ready for his dismount here. And it looks like the judges aren't gonna give him the stick. He's hyped up though.
I mean, being able to complete a performance like that without fall is certainly cause for celebration. But like you said, not getting the stick there could have huge detriments on the overall score. Illinois is coming off of defeating number 7 Ohio State last week in their senior day matchup. So coming off that win versus Penn State, coming off that loss, certainly can have a mental altitude on it. But the Nittany Lions now being home and it being their senior day definitely gives them reason to want to have extra strength and just overall the best performances they can.
Yeah, you're right. You know, Illinois able to defeat Ohio State at their senior night. You know, Penn State taking down Ohio State and Ohio State taking down Michigan. It's a lot of back and forth here in the Big Ten as Ian Raubel shows off his strength on the rings here. Sophomore from Zurich, Switzerland. There are those Yamawakis we talked about earlier.
Matthew Underhill received a 12.8 for his Nittany Lions performance on the rings.
Good stick there for Ian Raubel. That's got the crowd and his team fired up.
Saw some people jump to their feet there out of excitement. As you said, definitely increased a good amount of energy here.
Next for the Illini, Sebastian Ingersoll.
Ingersoll is back now on the rings for Illinois.
Another good cross. We're looking for these athletes to hold these strength positions for a full 2 seconds. Ingersoll, hands looking a little shaky as he presses up into the handstand. And a bit wobbly after that giant. Nothing crazy though, still a good set by Sebastian. And he follows up Ian Raubel's dismount with a stick of his own. Gets the answer for the Fighting Illini.
It's no account but the season of the sticks here.
Yeah, Illinois, phenomenal team at sticking dismounts. And I think that's one of the places that they really shine. You know, they're great on rings as a whole team, but their dismounts are almost on another level compared to other teams in the NCAA.
And that is why they hold a 4th national ranking here in current standings in the United States.
Yeah, they came out last year at NCAA championships and surprised a lot of people by taking a place on the podium and knocking Oklahoma down into 4th place. They did the same thing there. Stuck dismounts and hit routines. Lucas Sparrow now coming off of a great weekend last weekend at Michigan, posting his career high. Another very strong individual. Making sure there's no doubt about his 2-second hold.
Seems to be complete control in his entire body as he just sticks and holds these.
Yeah, he looks so comfortable up there. You know, I was on the Penn State gymnastics team when this guy got recruited, and we all thought he was going to be mainly a ring specialist, but he's really proven himself to be a great all-arounder for the Nittany Lions, able to contribute on a lot of events, like floor and vault, as well as on rings. Just moving through this routine, he doesn't even look tired, double-double. I don't know if he got the stick. It looks like the judges aren't giving it to him. I didn't see that green flag go up. But a great set nonetheless. Hits a little arrow celebration. Taking some inspiration from the UFC, Israel Adesanya. Logan Myers now for Illinois getting ready.
Ingersoll received a 13.4 from his rings performance. Nittany Lions slowly chipping away at those tenths here on the rings, on the overall scoring.
Logan Myers, season high of 14.0. If he can replicate results like that today, he's going to put some pressure on this Nittany Lion lineup. Myers straight into the cross from those Yamawakis. Might have been a slightly short hold there. These judges are very picky.
Sparrow with a 14.15 noted from his performance here on the rings today.
Myers struggles a little bit on that dismount there. The rest of the set looked pretty good. I don't think his knee touched the ground, so I don't think he'll lose a full point there, but definitely going to lose tenths for not preparing for the landing and those two big steps out. Illinois leaving the door open a little bit for the Nittany Lions to come back here on this third event.
Nate Warren is now preparing to take the rings as he has a season and career high of 14.2. Really looking to have another high performance such as that to get the Nittany Lions back in competition here. But I mean, they've done a phenomenal job here on the rings, really chipping away at the Illinois' lead.
Absolutely. This Penn State lineup on rings got a lot of potential. This guy, Nate Warren, his 5th year here at Penn State, he's a grad student, and he is incredibly strong. Like right here, this is Zarian Maltese. First time we've seen that today.
Holds it with ease, or what looks like ease.
A lot of strength in this routine. Into the straight planche. Kip into the straight. Looking solid in these handstands so far. Something interesting about Nate's routine, he does strength all the way up till the very end. A lot of guys try to keep it to the very beginning. Right here, a Zarian cross, very deep in his routine. A lot of cheering from the fans in the Penn State bench right now. Trying to keep the energy up as Nate Warren brings a close to his set. Struggling to get up to that handstand with straight arms. Little wobbly as he gets ready for the dismount here. But he pulls it around and gets the stick.
Sigh of relief there on his face as he goes to greet.
Nate also being celebrated today for senior night.
Meanwhile, for Illinois, Myers receives the 12.35 for his score. Warren receiving lots of love as he comes back to his teammates here.
As Ethan Boder gets set up.
Ethan Boder having a high of 13.55 here on the rings.
Logan Myers' score posted 12.35. Looks like the judges did take a fall on that dismount. Boder looking very good so far.
Approaches the handstand.
Little wobbly on his way up there. And a hop on his dismount, but a good set, nice and clean for Illinois. So far, Penn State making up a lot of ground on this third event.
Still awaiting Nathaniel Warren's score as Michael Varro approaches the rings.
Giroux been putting in a lot of work in the gym to get stronger. 13.8 for Nate Warren coming in. As I was saying, Giroux putting in a lot of work to get stronger, really better himself on this event. You know, it's one of, not really a weakness for him, but it's not quite as strong as his other events.
Has a 14.15 high.
Starting off with the Azarian cross here. That skill Nate Warren did 8th in his set. Giroux's doing first. That just shows you how strong Nate Warren really is. And not going to be the most difficult routine for Giroux, but should be very clean. He's got great gymnastics fundamentals, great basics. Very high flying on those Yomawakis.
Rough fall there.
Kicked out a bit early. That was a good routine for Mike Giroux.
The score for Ethan Boner, 13.05.
That's going to leave the door quite a ways open for Illinois' next athlete, Ashton Anaya. There's another look at Giroux's fall. Looked like he kicked out of that dismount a little bit too early.
Ashton Anaya, nationally recognized for his still rings performance, really looking to capitalize here in Rec Hall and increase Illinois' overall team lead and team total here from the Nittany Lions fall just beforehand.
Superhuman strength on this athlete. There's the Azarian malt that we saw from Nate Warren earlier. Anaya all the way down and back up. Truly gravity-defying movements. And this routine is just jam-packed with strength. Anaya looking very clean so far, moving into his Yamawakis. Straight into an uprise Maltese. And the bounce cross.
Has a high of 14.85 here on the rings.
Anaya one last handstand before his dismount. And a small hop, but that's a great routine for Ashton Anaya. Michael Giroux, 12.75.
12.75. Next for the Nittany Lions, Michael Artlip.
Michael Artlip wrapping it up here on the rings for the Nittany Lions as he begins his performance here momentarily.
Michael Artlip, a season high of 12.3. Not your traditional rings guy. Doesn't have superhuman strength like we saw from Ashton Anaya. But he knows that he has to get up and do a clean routine for his team. Little wobbly here in the handstand. And the dismount. Just a tiny hop, almost got the stick there. Nothing too crazy, but that's a good hit for the Nittany Lions, and that's going to keep the energy moving forward.
Getting the job done for his team as needed. Like we talked about earlier, lots of injuries and outages here on the Nittany Lion lineup. So lots of people having to step in where they're not usually as used or as comfortable and just do what they need to do to have a clean and set performance.
Yeah, you're not out there with other guys at the same time as you. It's not the same as, say, soccer or basketball where you have all your guys with you, but it's still a team sport, and when you're needed, when your team needs you, you go out and you do what you can.
Anaya posted 13.55 for Illinois. Their highest score so far here today on the rings.
Oh, Michael Artlip competing in the all-around. His score not going to count for the Nittany Lions. Same here with Tate Costa. A front double pike. Dismount for Costa, very unique. Can't quite stand it up. But as I mentioned, just competing in the all-around, so that score not going to count for the team. And Penn State, after this third rotation, has closed the gap quite a bit. Illinois' team scored 201.75, Penn State at 200.35. Knocked it down from a 3.7 lead to only 1.4. Now these athletes will get 6 minutes to touch the second half of the events, get warmed back up, and we'll see you at the end of halftime.
Welcome back. If you're here choosing to listen to our broadcast here as we are covering Penn State men's gymnastics as they ranked number 6 in the country as they take on Illinois, who is number 4. We are halfway through this competition here as Illinois leads 201.95 to 200.35 over the Nittany Lions as we get started here on vault. I'm Bronwyn Leiber, joined alongside Matt Solom. Matt, what have you seen today, and what can the Nittany Lions do in contention to come back and potentially take this Big Ten regular season title?
We've seen a lot of pretty big mistakes early today by the Nittany Lions, a lot of falls that they shouldn't be giving up, and Illinois has been putting together a lot of clean sets, but not without a couple falls of their own. Illinois off to a pretty big lead. I'm going to pause while Connor McCool goes on vault here. Little tiny hop, nice 2.5, and sprints back across the gym.
Lots of excitement there as he tackles his teammates.
Yeah, Illinois putting together a very consistent showing. Lots of stuck dismounts. Lots of clean gymnastics.
McCool has a 14.55 high on the vault.
You know, I mentioned on floor McCool is great at twisting. No different here on vault for Connor McCool. We're looking to keep those athletes to keep their feet inside the 2 outside lines.
What is something an athlete can do to increase difficulty pointage here on the vault?
Mostly we see athletes add extra twists. So we saw a 2.5 there by Connor McCool. I don't think we'll see any triple fulls, but doing that extra half twist would increase your value. Kasper Goncharek, I think he's gonna do a double full, but he's gonna enter a little bit differently. He's going to do a round off to put his feet on the board and go onto the table backwards, as opposed to McCool, who went off forwards. There's Kasper. The double full, pretty sizable hop backwards, but he stayed in bounds. It's very good to see. So his start value going to be 4/10 lower because he didn't do that extra half twist that we saw from McCool.
Does a round off add any points?
No, they did different entries, but the end skill was the same.
Okay.
However, when you do a Yurchenko, which is what is called, the entry that Kasper did, you're taking away a lot of the risk of losing deductions by splitting your legs from the springboard onto the table.
Connor McCool rewarded a 14.25 for the Illinois starting here off on the vault.
Goncharek's score coming in at 14.15, just 1/10 lower as Vahe Petrosian gets set up. The second vaulter for this Illini squad.
It's a 12.95 high.
Double full. Looked like his legs were locked on that landing, and I think he stepped out of bounds with at least 1 foot. If 1 foot goes out of bounds, it's a 1/10 extra deduction.
I see the replay here.
Both feet go out, it's a 3/10 deduction. And it looks like only his right foot went out, hard to tell. And as I mentioned, those Yurchenkos that Kasper does eliminates a lot of the deductions possible on the entry to the table. Josh Carnes gonna do the more traditional forward entry. 2.5 here from Carnes. And a big stick here in front of his home crowd. He's just walking off nonchalant like it was no big deal.
Sticks a performance like that and just runs back to his team with a small smile on his face. Taking it as an everyday performance. Carnes received a 14.65 for the Nittany Lions. Highest score posted on the vault so far for today.
Well, this Illini squad has a lot of really good vaulters. Amari Sewell, most notably, very good at sticking his vault. Evan Manavong just 1 foot out of bounds. And the same celebration as McCool.
I have to wonder if it's a team, I'm not even sure what you would call that, team tradition.
Yeah, Illinois has a lot of traditions at their home meets. When they stick dismounts, they bring out a big stick and kind of like stir the cauldron with the stick. Those guys definitely have no shortage of fun when they're competing.
How does Rec Hall compare to other potential schools when coming in as a hostile environment to compete in?
You know, it's kind of interesting. In our matchup against, or in the Nittany Lions matchup against Illinois last year, Landon Simpson now getting ready. 2.5 from him as well. And just a tiny hop, almost gets the stick. But yeah, competing in different locations is very different. The music's different, the lights are different, the space is different.
Fun celebration there by Simpson as he kicks his legs up and down, hopping back to his teammates.
The atmosphere in Illinois is definitely different. In the matchup last year against these two teams at Illinois, when Penn State athletes were performing, it was nice, slow, soothing music, and every time someone from Illinois was competing, it was hyped up music, personalized for each athlete. So very different energies when you compete in different places. Mike Fletcher puts up a good answer to Landon Simpson's excellent 2.5 on vault. Evan Manavong's score coming in 14.5. And Landon Simpson a 14.6. Penn State slowly inching back in front of Illinois. Now only a 1/10 deficit between the two teams.
I see a change in springs there in front of the vault. Is each team have their own, or is that by athlete preference?
I know Penn State brings their own springboards to competitions, even when they travel. Illinois is probably similar. But it all comes down to personal preference. You know, guys that are heavier are going to want more springs, a little bit more resistance in the board to reduce the risk of bottoming it out. Guys who are a little bit lighter need less springs to get the same effect.
Artlip here with a 14.6 season and personal high.
Competed at Yurchenko 2.5 last weekend. Let's see what he does today. Little stumble to the side, but does the 2.5 again.
The score for Michael Fletcher, 14.3.
As just noted there, Michael Fletcher received a 14.3 for his vault performance. I believe we now have Amari Sewell approaching the vault. As you noted before, Matt, he is known for his vault performances. As someone who has previously competed, what makes his performances so strong and highly noted?
He's very clean in the air. He's not giving up tenths and deductions that he shouldn't be. And he's very explosive. He's super quick. You know, I talked to you about it earlier on floor. He's super bouncy. So he gets a lot of height and a lot of distance off the table. And he tends to stick this vault a lot of the time. A tiny hop today, but as you can see, so high, so clean in the air. And there's the sprint back.
A little bit of a dance celebration there, as you can see.
And well-deserved. That was an excellent vault by Amari Sewell.
Nittany Lions currently trail by 0.15. But it'll be interesting to see how that totals after the vault completion.
You see Amari Sewell's vault there in slow motion. Michael Giroux now getting ready for the Nittany Lions here. The Nittany Lions' last vaulter.
Can hear confidence being shouted by his teammates as he prepares and takes some final deep breaths with a 14.5 season high and 14.6 career high on the vault here.
Gonna be more of the same. 2.5 here. And a great landing there. Amari Sewell, big score, 14.75, and the new vault leader of today. And I think it's unlikely that Mike Giroux's score beats that out. So it looks like Amari Sewell is going to be the vault winner here in Rec Hall.
And also help his teammates and Illinois as a whole hold on to that team overall lead as we await final Nittany Lions score.
Giroux's score just coming in, 14.15. And And going into rotation 5 on the parallel bars, you can see Illinois leads 273.4 to Penn State's 272.65.
What do the Nittany Lions as a whole and as a program look when doing and creating their performances on the parallel bars? What is their insight to doing as well as they can?
We've got Penn State has a lot of guys who are super confident, don't really need a whole lot of work on the parallel bars. Josh Carnes being one of those guys. He'll kind of rest himself throughout the week and just know he can put on a good performance. Things didn't quite go his way last weekend in Ann Arbor in their matchup against Michigan, but he's looking a little bit better today than he did last weekend. And, you know, we got Ian Raubel for the Nittany Lions. From Switzerland, he's got some great lines, hits his handstands very well. You know, Penn State definitely going to be missing Matt Cormier on this event. But all in all, the Nittany Lions need to minimize hand movements on the bars. Anytime athletes take a step, they lose a tenth. The Nittany Lions struggle with keeping their hands set. So just refining those little things that, you know, aren't too noticeable, but the judges will take every time is the key to Penn State, you know, taking the lead from this Illinois squad. And that starts with Kasper Garncharek here.
Garncharek holds a 13.8 parallel bars high as he enters here to start off the parallel bars for both teams.
Kasper, one of the taller athletes competing today, actually has the bars set one notch higher than everyone else will use, so that he's able to swing under the bars without hitting his knees on the ground. Great Healy there by Kasper, looking confident. Takes that little hand step, as I mentioned before. Another adjustment. Another one. These judges are going to be super picky, taking tenths for all of these.
How does joint such as arm and leg straightness compared to other events where you might get a point deduction for loose or wobbling arms? Is that the same here?
It's the same here. Anytime your arms or legs bend when they're not supposed to, great dismount there by Kasper Garncharek. Looked a little wobbly at the end of the set. I'm sorry, what were we talking about?
Just the point deduction they receive for bent arms and legs.
Right, yeah. So anytime the athletes bend their arms or legs when they're not supposed to. So if you're swinging under the bars with straight arms, you know, athletes are going to bend their legs so they can make it through without kicking the ground. That's no problem. But if you're in a support on the bars and you're bending your legs while you're swinging or going up to the handstand, the judges are going to take those deductions.
We await as they re-chalk the bars here and lower them, because as you said, it was raised higher for Penn State's opening performance.
Yeah, these athletes using a combination of water, chalk, and honey to get the grip just right. Everyone's got their own personalized formula.
We'll see Logan Myers start off for Illinois with a 13.5 career high and a 13.25 season high.
And now for Illinois, Logan Myers.
Kasper Garncharek, 13.15. Let's see if Myers has an answer. Great lock arm on that peach there. Great to pelt there. First time we've seen that skill today. Logan Myers looking very comfortable through this set. No major form breaks. Oh, Myers hits his leg, it looked like, on the bar coming off on the dismount. Causes him to put his hands down.
What dismount was he attempting there?
It was a backwards double pike. So a double backflip in this pike position. Looks like he kicked his foot on the way up, slowed him down, and he's gonna get hit with a 1-point deduction for that fall, which is a shame after such a good set. Ian Raubel now chalking up the bars. Gonna be the next athlete for Penn State on this 5th event.
Lots of work going in before this performance to make sure everything is perfectly lined up, especially in a competition this close-knit and point-wise. Every little bit that you can do to perfect your performances is going to have a significant matter in the outcome here today.
Yeah, Raubel starts off his routine with a pretty difficult underbar skill. It's gonna be a peach to handstand with a half twist, so he wants to make sure he doesn't slip right out of the gate. Logan Meyer's score coming in for the University of Illinois, 12.3 after that fall in his dismount. And the Nittany Lions have taken the lead here, 1/10 up on the Fighting Illini.
What part of your body does Rabo need to work the most in a start like this? Oh,
Looks like he didn't quite get pressure on his hand going up into that handstand. I was just talking about how much you don't want to slip and don't want to mess up that first skill. Got to jump back up and do the full routine knowing you have that point deduction. Associate head coach Tony Beck telling him, take a breath, take your time. Ian getting the full use out of his 30 seconds here as he gets up to start his routine for the 2nd time. And he gets it right this time. Nice peach to handstand there. This event, especially skills like that, requires immense shoulder strength to get up to the handstand, especially if you come up a little bit short. Ian, nice Makut straight into the Healy. Good stutz there. And Ian Raubel not looking bothered after falling on his first skill. Just the dismount left. Gonna do the same thing as Logan Myers, back double pike. And just a small hop. Well, props to Ian for finishing that set after a tragic start.
certainly short-term mindset right there as they await his score. What do athletes typically experience as the most physically enduring part of the bars?
You got guys that do a lot of underbar work and they struggle to hold on through everything and maintain that grip. You know, these athletes all make sure their grip is perfect, but you'll transfer to different parts of the bars where you might not have as much time to work on the grip, or you're tired in your set, so your grip isn't quite as good. You know, your forearm strength is lacking a little bit. So that's one thing. Other guys, you know, that spend a lot of time on top of the bars and support, you know, if their triceps get tired and the arms buckle or they can't quite fight something up to handstand, you know, it's a lot more upper arm intensive. Vahe Petrosian now getting ready for the Illini. Ian Raubel scored 12.55. Great whip it there by Petrosian. And a nice peach settling into these handstands very nicely. Nice Makuts there, a little bit off balance, but brings it back. And a beautiful Healy.
Really holding his patience and balance there on these bars.
Absolutely, he's showing the judges that at the end of every skill, he's got control. He's stable, steady. Small hop there on the Diamondov, but not a problem as he gets ready for his dismount. And he gets it down. That's a much needed hit for Illinois here.
The score for Ian Rommel, 12 points.
Still continuing that run back celebration, transferring from the ball over here to the bars. Lots of team effort going in here to adjusting these bars for each individual athlete.
Ethan Dick now getting ready. The third competitor on P-bars for the Nittany Lions. And just like his pommel horse performance, on P-bars, Ethan's super laid back, not too stressed out or nervous about it. He knows he can do this set very well, and he's just gonna turn off his mind and try not to overthink it.
Holds a season high of 13.75 here on the bars.
Speaking of Vahe Petrosian, score coming in 13.75.
Huge score there for the Illini to put them back in the overall lead.
Absolutely, Illinois applying the pressure now on Penn State in their home venue. Penn State now has to answer to that pressure. Ethan Dick, quite a unique start. Kip press handstand on that side of the bar. Great Bobzar, that skill's called. Named after Olympic gymnast Raj Bobzar. Ethan looks like he sat down there on that Tapel. Gonna lose a full point for that. Nice Makutz though, recovers well. Couldn't quite get that Diamondov to the handstand. The judges are gonna take a pretty significant deduction for that. And Ethan looking exhausted as he comes down on the dismount.
Not the performance the Nittany Lions were looking for there in such a close matchup.
Ethan fighting, but just couldn't quite stay on his feet.
Lots of chance for the Illini here as they regain and hold on to their lead.
Yeah, the momentum is definitely shifting in this matchup. You know, Penn State through the third and fourth events were able to pull back into the lead, and now Illinois coming back, not making it quite so easy. Tate Costa starting the same way as Ethan Dick with that unique kip on the one bar. Nice Makutz there by Costa, looking very confident so far.
Ethan Dick with an 11.65 for his performance. Really going to be detrimental there to the Nittany Lions' overall score in such a close matchup.
Yeah, score that low coming in this late, it's going to be tough to come back from. Great dismount by Tate Costa. And the Illini keep it up. A little slide into home base there for the celebration. Here's another look at his dismount.
Mari Sewell, teammate there, greeting him on his celebration.
This Illinois squad, very good on high bar. As I mentioned before, very good team at sticking dismounts, especially on high bar. So they're definitely not gonna make it easy to come back for the Nittany Lions after a couple back-to-back falls by Ian Raubel and Ethan Dick, leaving the door wide open. Michael Giroux now getting the bars ready for his performance.
Next for the Nittany Lions, Michael Giroux.
Mike is one of those guys who does a lot of underbar work. Doesn't spend too much time on top of the bars.
What kind of point effects can that have on being under versus over, or difficulty overall?
You know, there are difficult underbar skills and difficult top bar skills. Giroux just shines on the underbar. Beautiful peach handstand there. It really just depends on where the athlete's comfortable. Little leg split there, but Giroux holds it together.
Tate Costa received a 13.7 for Illinois, giving them a substantial lead now. 313.15 versus Nittany Lions 310 flat.
Mike, capable of big stick here. He comes down a little short, almost the same as his rings dismount from earlier.
The score for Tate Costa, 13.7.
Energy a little bit lackluster here for the Nittany Lions after three straight athletes falling on this event.
This is where energy is needed the most for the Nittany Lions in such a close-ended match with such just senior day and to end the season, regular season overall. After such unfortunate falls, this is when you really need to bring all the energy and into your teammates on these final events as we move on to Will Hawk.
100%. You know, these Penn State guys that are sitting on the bench, not competing anymore, it's important for them to keep the spirits high for these guys who are getting up and falling. It hurts the mental. Will Hawk now. Nice peach half. We saw Ian Raubel fall on that earlier. Hawk, great peach work so far. 12.75 coming in for Michael Giroux, the last Nittany Lions athlete to compete on this event. And this is a great set from Will Hawk so far.
Movement with ease with every exchange and regripping of the hands on the bars.
And he's doing a great job of not moving those hands while he's in the handstand. And just a small step on the dismount there. He's fired up, his team's fired up, and these Illinois fans are fired up.
The score for Michael
Lifted up there
A little
by
dirty
teammate.
dancing lift to celebrate. That might be the best celebration I've ever seen in gymnastics. That was incredible.
That is something Illinois has certainly brought here into Happy Valley and Rec Hall. It's just absolute energy, fun, lighthearted celebrations, and just overall teammate appreciation and encouragement.
Yeah, you know, they're even with falls and, you know, things not quite going their way, Illinois has been having fun. They've been smiling. They've been keeping the energy up. And this Penn State lineup looking a bit down in the dumps at the moment. Let's see if Josh Carnes can put up some of his best numbers on his signature event.
Certainly what the Nittany Lions are needing and looking for. Josh Carnes with tremendous historical numbers and statistics, really needing one of those top-tier performances here today.
Next for the Nittany Lions,
His season high of 14.9, his career high over 15. So capable of big numbers here. Let's see if he can perform and keep his team in it moving into the last event. Good work by Carnes so far. Cruising through this routine.
I was going to say, it seems he's holding his body with complete composure and balance. Really sticking those upward handstands.
Yeah, and he's looking great. This is going to be a good score if he can get this dismount down. Double front flip. And a big stick. Got the fans here in Rec Hall on their feet. And that's going to be very important for getting this energy back up for his team. Will Hawk's score coming in, 14.0, as we look at Josh's dismount for a second time.
How does scoring work on the dismounts there as far as difficulty contributes to it?
So in the NCAA, all athletes need a D value dismount. So the double front, I think it's an E, I can't remember. Back double pike, what we see most of these athletes do, that's a D dismount. And same thing with that double front as on vault. You add the extra half twist, it gets more difficult. You earn more points. And as with every event, except for pommel horse, getting that stick, you're getting an extra 1/10 of bonus for not moving your feet on the dismount.
Michael Fletcher also holding complete composure here as he brings his legs together in the handstand.
And a good dismount for Fletcher. That was a good routine, great clean set, and that's going to keep Illinois in front, moving to our last event.
Josh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say Josh Carnes' score coming in 14.65.
Tremendously needed for the Nittany Lions. And tremendous way to finish up on the bars here, heading into the final event of the evening.
Yeah, significantly higher than all of his teammates on this event. Michael Artlip now getting ready for his all-around performance. His score won't count for the team totals. The crowd starting the "We Are" chant, trying to get some more energy in the building and support their home team. Michael Fletcher score coming in 13.05.
Illinois holding a solid lead as they prepare to head into this final event after Artlip's individual performance here.
Great routine so far here by Artlip. Gonna be the same double pike dismount. His chest a little low and a big step out. Stays on his feet.
That concludes the 5th routine.
Not gonna bring the energy down anymore for the Nittany Lions, that's for sure.
Senior families, please meet down in the corner by the pommel horse. Again, all senior families, please meet down in the corner by the pommel horse. Thank you.
Thank you again for all those who are joining us here today on Big Ten Plus. I'm Braun Leiber, joined alongside Matt Solom as we head into the final event here in this evening as a double-ranked matchup as the number 6 Nittany Lions of Penn State take on number 4 Illinois. Illinois currently leads with a score of 340.2 versus Penn State's 337.4. Matt, are there any ways the Nittany Lions can have such, like, what do they need to do in this final event if they have any hopes of coming back and getting just overall as high a score as possible? What's something they can really look for in this final event?
Penn State does a great job of finishing these meets strong. I like to say that they're a little bit stronger in the second half, but they're going to be looking for angles. So anytime you get in close to the bar, you come out, you want to be as close to the handstand as possible. Anything beyond 15-degree deviation from that perfect handstand is going to be a deduction, and the further away you get, the bigger the deduction is. A lot of high-flying releases for both of these teams. So once you come off the bar, making sure you get back on it, don't give up any more falls, especially for the Nittany Lions. And then stuck dismounts. This is one of the easiest events to stick dismounts on. And as we were talking about earlier today, those little tenths on every event all add up.
Now, here are the requirements for high bar. Long hang skills with
Illinois certainly not going to make it easy, though.
play element.
phenomenal high bar squad on this team.
And a dismount.
Illinois will start off here on the high bars.
Evan Manavong staying loose, staying warm, walking around as he gets set as the first competitor here on high bar. Evan does a lot of really unique one-arm hanging skills. Very comfortable not having both hands on the bar.
Leading off for Illinois on the high bar, please welcome Evan Manavong.
Evan Manahong approaches the bar.
Great Yamawaki there to start off. There's one of those one-arm skills we talked about. Does another one right here. That one called a Zuliman.
Is it just preference of move, or is that increasing their difficulty?
Yes, it's difficult. So you get a higher start value by doing skills like that. And that one, there's a third one-arm skill. Not going to see anyone else today do 3 of them. And there's the dismount, and he gets the stick. Illinois definitely not going to hand over this win to Penn State.
Flipping in excitement there over that performance.
That's a strong start for Illinois on this last event.
It was truly incredible if you watch the replay on his one-arm movements, just the way he was able to keep his body front and center and not have any shift in gravitational pull. It's as if his hips just stayed straight forward. The amount of core that must take is incredible.
I never did one-arms. To be honest, they scared me a little bit too much. But Evan, comfortable. He actually has a torn shoulder right now, so switching up the arm that he's doing the one-arms on.
And that's what makes a number 4 nationally ranked team.
Casper Goncharik now getting ready for the Nittany Lions to answer Evan Manavong. Now we're going to see how Penn State handles this pressure being down going into the last event.
There's a one-arm movement.
There's that Zuliman again. Going to see a lot of guys do that today. There's a talk half. Those are the skills we're looking for athletes to finish in a complete handstand. Casper, not too far away from the handstand.
Lots of height there.
And we're going to see a lot of these moves called Tkachevs today. Casper doing it in a pike and straddle position. As he gets ready for his dismount, half in, half out. And he answers Evan Manavong's stick.
Exactly what the Nittany Lions are needing there, point-wise, energy-wise, performance-wise, all of the above.
Casper doing his best to keep the team in it.
Evan's score comes in at 13.2 to start Illinois off on the high bar.
Yeah, high bar, one of the lower scoring events. And we're not going to see all 14 plus scores like we do on vault.
Next for the Illini, Kyle Mayock.
Kyle Maya now, season high and career high of 13.6. Starts his routine off with the Zuliman in the talk half. Performs that a little bit better than Casper did as he gets into this Kovacs, double backflip over the bar and recatch. Very difficult skill. And it's a Tkachev.
Mayotte really picking up speed in his performance as well.
Nice jam to handstand there. As he cranks for his dismount. And a small hop, can't quite get the stick, but that was a great routine from Kyle Mayotte, and he's hyped up.
Tongue out, little dance there as well. Really getting creative here with these celebrations for Illinois. You can see in the replay here, his small little hop, but overall, incredible performance here on the high bars.
If Illinois keeps putting up routines like this, it's going to be very hard for Penn State to come back and take the lead on their senior night here at home. Kasper Goncharik doing his part, though, posting a 13.7 to answer Evan Manavong's 13.2. With a 9.0 execution for Kasper Goncharik, meaning he only got 1 point off throughout that whole routine. Very, very good execution number there.
Exactly what you need here after a long day in rec hall to wrap up performances and overall competition.
Absolutely, Ian Raubel now doing that talk full into the talk half. Very clean gymnast. I mentioned his lines earlier on parallel bars. As he moves through his releases, no problem. Gonna do a unique skill now here. We'll stalled her into a spin. The hop full, the quast as he gets ready for his dismount. Same thing we've seen all night. And he gets the stick down.
Energy slowly rising here for the Nittany Lions with every stick here on the high bars, really bringing back in the exact points and energy they are needing if they are going to have any chance of coming back and passing Illinois here on this last event.
Kyle Mayotte posting a 12.65.
Next for the Illini, Ryan Vanishner.
Ryan will now be taking the bars for Illinois, and he is quite known for his high bar performance. Matt, I'm assuming you've gotten to see him perform before?
I definitely have. I'm pretty out of touch with the gymnastics world on a personal level, but I know he's capable of great things. That Takamoto, almost perfect. And high flying releases here. Look at the height on that Takachev.
Illinois certainly not making it easy here for the Nittany Lions.
And a great dismount for Ryan. Gets the stick.
Ryan has a season and career high of 14.25 and really showing those levels here tonight.
Ian Raubel, 13.65. Answering Kyle Mayotte's 12.65.
Penn State really looking to slowly inch back on those tenths of points here as they trail 366.15 to 364.75.
That last Illinois performance definitely going to make it difficult for Penn State to keep clawing away at this lead.
We knew coming into today, it's a top 10 matchup. It was going to be close. Every point, every stick, step back mattered, and that is how it is proven to be.
Okseli Karsikas now. Getting ready, the third competitor for Penn State here. Great talk half there as he gets ready for his releases. Coleman there, double back with a full twist, then catch the bar again, and he also, lots of amplitude and explosiveness on these Takachevs. Okseli looking good so far. And this Nittany Lions lineup really fights to the end in all of these competitions. You know, they had a pretty detrimental P-bars rotation right before this, but it looks like they've pushed that out. Got the energy back up. Okseli dismount, and he gets the stick. It's 3 for 3 for the Nittany Lions on sticks here on high bar.
You were not kidding, Matt, when you said that they fought through the end here on this last event. Like you said, struggled a little bit before in the event prior to this, but have come back and 3 for 3 on the sticks and just really sticking with Illinois here. every match trying to claw away at that deficit.
Yeah, this is an exciting end to the matchup. You know, Illinois just put up a 14.0 on high bar by Ryan. Going to keep applying that pressure on Penn State. We'll see if they can keep answering back. Right now, these two teams are going blow for blow. Tate Costa now. Great talk. He gets ready for his double flipping release. There's the Coleman. Looks like he's going to do a Kovacs as well. Same skill, no twist. And he gets that one too. Great routine here so far by Tate Costa. Getting out of these in-bar elements, right up into the handstand.
Both these teams really looking to end their season and possibly for some of them their careers on the highest notes they can. Small step there.
That was a great set by Tate Costa as Oxeli's score comes in, 13.8 for Karsikis on high bar.
Karsikis, 13.8.
Josh Carnes now preparing to take the high bar.
Nittany Lions looking to make up just a little bit over a point and a half on these last two routines. Josh Carnes, a lot of releases in this set. Starts off with that one-arm Zuli Min. We've seen almost all these guys do. And the talk comes up very short of the handstand. Coleman for Josh Carnes. Virtually flawless as he gets into his Tkachev sequence. Huge layout Tkachev. Now he should connect two in a row here. Straddle into the pike.
The height he gets on these is just incredible.
And these athletes are very talented. A lot of explosive energy through the shoulders needed for these Tkachev elements. And it's interesting to note that these gymnasts can only do two of the same kind of release like those Tkachevs unless they connect. And a big stick for Josh Carnes. 4 for 4 on sticks for the Nittany Lions. And they are fighting hard to bring this deficit back.
Tate Costa with a 13.25 posted for Illinois. As we enter the end, or close to the end of competition here today.
Next for the Illini, Michael Fletcher.
Illinois' high bar anchor Mike Fletcher getting up. Very tense in the building right now. As it all comes down to the last two routines. Fletcher, here's his Coleman. Does it beautifully into these German giants. Haven't seen those all day. Quite a unique skill. And here comes his dismount.
Small step.
Step backwards.
Josh Carnes given the 13.7 for his performance.
The score for Josh Carnes, 13.7.
Some disagreement there from the fans on that, it sounds like.
Some boos coming from the crowd. You know, Josh put up a good set, but it had its fair share of mistakes. That 13.7, I think, well deserved.
Next for the Nittany Lions,
We'll now see Michael Artlip, who is one of 9 Penn State gymnasts named Academic All-Big Tens here this season for winter sports as he approaches the high bars to end this for the Nittany Lions.
Michael Artlip, brilliant student athlete in the Schreier Honors College here at Penn State and an electrical engineering major. actually already a grad student. Finished his undergrad in 7 semesters. He does his high-flying releases. Great snag there on the Coleman. And a great jam to handstand there. Making sure not to give up any of these silly angle deductions. And a great talk to handstand right there. Michael Artlip now on the dismount and a big stick.
5 for
And
5.
he's pumped up.
Absolutely incredible performance on the high bar by the Nittany Lions to wrap up today's competition.
Will that be enough?
Close to say.
Competition. Fans, please stick around for tonight's award winners.
Michael Fletcher's score coming in at a 13.0. Illinois' unofficial team score coming out to a 406.4.
As we mentioned earlier, today is also their celebration of senior night, in which they will be honoring 2 of their teammates and members here for the Nittany Lions men's gymnastics. Coaches come to congratulate and shake hands with one another. Both teams putting up their respective ranks and respecting their ranks well with tremendous performances here today. What is something, Matt, the Nittany Lions, you feel like really came out and did strong and something they really could have cleaned up?
Well, I think this high bar performance was phenomenal by the Nittany Lions. They came out, they had a tough P-bars rotation, but they didn't really let that get them too down, and they fought hard till the end. But it looks like Michael Artlip's score coming in 13.7, and they're not quite going to be able to defeat the Fighting Illini here.
Final score reads 406.4 for Illinois, with the Nittany Lions trailing at 405.95 on today's final regular match of the season for both teams.
Penn State did a great job fighting throughout this whole competition, regardless of team captain Matt Cormier being out. And I think they showed a lot of grit and determination, and Illinois keeping on with this energy
Ladies and gentlemen, today we
as we move into the postseason, as they look to get back on the podium at the national championships for the 2nd year in a row.
Illinois has officially clinched its share of the Big Ten regular season championship with this win today over the Nittany Lions. Now they begin their senior day activities and recognition here for the Nittany Lions.
It's now time to honor our graduating seniors. Our first honoree is Pommel horse specialist Brandon Campbell. Brandon is joined tonight by his mother, Lisa Campbell. Brandon is a communications major who plans on pursuing a future in retail investing upon graduating this May. An academic All-Big Ten honoree, Brandon also represented Penn State men's gymnastics. Throughout his 4 years at Penn State,
Well, that is all for here today to wrap up Penn State men's gymnastic regular season here in Rec Hall and for the season overall. I am Bronwyn Leiber, joined alongside Matt Solom. Thank you guys so much for joining us today here on the Big Ten Plus call. Have a great rest of your days. Great rest
Illinois clinches a share of the regular season Big Ten championship. Congratulations, Illinois. Fans, thank you for your support of Penn State men's gymnastics this season. Please join the Men's Gymnastics Booster Club for some post-meet pizza in the West Mezzanine. Thank you, and please travel home safely. We are